Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing well. My last meal prep video got such a positive response from you, so we're doing another one today. I wanted this one to have a little bit more structure, so we've got a theme. We're gonna be making our own Chipotle burrito bar. I've already gone ahead and prepped my veggies. It took me just under an hour to prep everything so far, and there's some shortcuts you can take. Of course, if you have less time, you can buy frozen fajita veggies, you can buy pre-made pico de gallo. It just really depends on how far you wanna take the meal prep. I wanna get our beans and rice started first because they're what takes the longest. So what I've got here are some beans, black beans that I soaked overnight. You can use canned beans if you prefer, but it's a little bit cheaper to use the beans from dry, plus you can control how much sodium is in there. I've just added enough filtered water just to barely cover the beans. I'm gonna add some onions, which I prepped earlier. I'm gonna save the rest of them for our sofritas, and some garlic. And if you check on the Chipotle website, actually, they tell you everything that is in each of the components for their burritos. I'm adding some cumin, just eyeballing it. I feel like you can't really have too much cumin. 2 bay leaves. And the website also says they have Chipotle pepper in there. Can you believe I've never cooked with these Chipotle peppers before? These are packed in adobo sauce, and you can also, if you prefer, buy them dried and rehydrate them in boiling water. So okay, they are kind of spicy. I am really not the best with spice, so I just chopped up a couple of these peppers. It's sort of like a paste now because they're quite soft. Spoonful of this adobo sauce. And lastly, oregano. I never cooked with oregano, so I had to buy some. A little under a tablespoon in there. I have this on medium-high heat. Just gonna bring it up to a boil. As soon as it hits that boil, I'm gonna lower it, and then I'm gonna let it simmer until the beans are soft. And I swear, this is no exaggeration, every time I've ever made beans from scratch, I've forgotten about them and they boiled over and made a huge mess. So I'm gonna try not to let that happen today. We're gonna get our rice started. All of the magic happens after the rice is done. We'll add our cilantro and our lime juice. So I'm just gonna cook this plain. Actually, no, I'm gonna add a little bit of vegan butter. You don't have to, obviously, but I'm bulking. I'm not actually bulking. I just like to say that when I eat things that I shouldn't. But I feel like the tiniest little bit of butter makes a huge difference with rice or any grain in general. So I'm gonna add a little bit in there. This is 2 cups of short grain rice. Brown rice, I usually cook 1 part rice to 2 parts water. If you want your rice to be super duper savory, you can cook it with veggie broth. So this, I'm gonna get started back there. Rice and beans, pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna make the tofu sofritas next. So I have 2 blocks of tofu because 1 is never enough. Can anyone else eat a whole block of tofu in one sitting? Because I've definitely done that before. So I have firm tofu here, and Trader Joe's has this high protein super firm tofu. I feel like we need to angle this down a little bit so you can see my cutting board. You can crumble your tofu directly into your skillet if you want to, but I'm actually going to dice everything up really fine because I think it's cuter. No, I'm just playing. Because it'll cook a little bit better. The flat surface of the tofu, it'll be in direct contact with the pan, and it's gonna help it get really nice and evenly browned. And you can skip the step if you want, but I always like to, before I add any sauce or seasoning to my tofu, I like to dry fry it with no oil to cook off some of the extra moisture to get some nice color and a little bit of crispness on the outside of the tofu. I can't believe I've never cooked with Chipotle peppers before. I have been missing out. They smell amazing. This actually looks like a massive amount of tofu. Like 1 block always looks like not enough when I cook it, but 2 just seems like so much. I feel like I've made a huge mistake.
I've made a huge mistake.
No, it's gonna be fine. I'll get through this. By the way, you can absolutely freeze tofu. It defrosts completely fine whenever you're ready to use it. Beans and rice too, you can freeze them, defrost them. Grains in general, soups, stews, curries. Oh, I just fried in your arms tonight. There must have been some kind of tofu. I should have walked away. What I'm gonna add to this is some chopped tomato, a couple tablespoons of tomato paste, the rest of the onion. Actually, I think I want to add some more onion. I feel like more onion is always a good idea. Am I right? On the real though, if you're trying to lose weight, bulking up your starches and your beans, your tofu, with really low calorie non-starchy vegetables like onions, zucchini, anything green, or cauliflower, dicing it up really nice and fine, almost so that you can't fully detect it is a really good tip. I think I'm gonna add the rest of these chipotle peppers from that can we opened earlier. I'm just gonna add half of them in first, give it a taste and see. It just occurred to me that I was supposed to add bay leaves to my rice because they specify that their rice has bay leaves on their website. So I'm gonna throw them in right now. The rest of our garlic, oregano as well. So I've been watching this vegan YouTuber named Anthony Tran, and he's really funny, and he's developed all these alternative pronunciations for spices.
Now you need some California egg jalis podea, some Orgeanis oregano liaves, smaque paprika, turimaris, cayenne.
So now I literally cannot cook with spices without thinking of those words. Oh my gatos, I forgot something very important. This is a roasted poblano chili. I just threw this in the oven at 450 and cooked it until the skin looks super blistered. Now I'm just gonna peel it. If you have a gas stove, you can char the flesh directly over the flame. These peppers are not spicy, so if you're kind of a wimp like me, you don't need to be afraid of them. But you can also just use a green bell pepper. You can roast one of those, throwing that in there. Let's give it a taste. It's not too spicy, so I am gonna go ahead and add in the rest of these chipotle peppers. Do any of you guys remember the old Jack in the Box commercial where Jack can't pronounce the word chipotle?
Chipotle.
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 I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Now I'm just gonna cover it, let it cook on low heat, sort of just steam until the onions are nice and tender. Just tidy it up a little bit. I wanna show you what else I prepped earlier. I have some organic romaine lettuce. I just shredded this up, rinsed it very, very well. If you have a salad spinner, use one of those, or take a clean kitchen towel and just pat it nice and dry. And then I would recommend storing it in an airtight container with a paper towel on the bottom to absorb extra moisture. That will help keep it nice and crisp and fresh and not brown. We also have some pico de gallo, nice fresh addition to your tacos or burritos. Real good. Very simple, just some chopped Roma tomatoes, very finely diced red onion, lots and lots of cilantro. I'm a cilantro fiend. Some minced garlic, lime juice, and some jalapeno peppers. I took the seeds and the ribs out, so this is not spicy. I think this tastes fine without salt, but if you want to add salt to yours, I would recommend that you add it at the very last minute when you use it each day, because if you add it to this big batch, salt pulls all the liquid out of your vegetables, and you're just gonna end up with a ton of liquid pooled at the bottom. The way I make guacamole is just by adding all of the same ingredients that are in pico de gallo to avocados, okay? So what I'm gonna do, because if you make a big batch of guacamole, it's only gonna keep for a day or two before it gets really brown. So what I like to do so that my avocado stays nice and fresh is that every day, as I'm gonna make my burrito bowl, I just take my avocado, mash it up, add some pico de gallo in there, and boom, you got some guacamole. Guacamole. Last thing we got here are some fajita veggies, some red bell peppers, green bell peppers, thinly sliced red onion. My mom and a couple of other people I know, they hate green bell peppers, but they like red bell peppers. I know the red ones are slightly sweeter, but to me, they're still fundamentally interchangeable. How do you guys feel about this? Let me know. I don't really like to reheat sauteed veggies like these. I prefer to just cook them right before I'm about to add them to the burrito bowl. These will keep for several days, like maybe up to 5 or 6 days in the fridge in an airtight container, nice and crisp. Probably when I saute these, I'll add a couple of shakes of this fajita spice, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. We have managed to not let them boil over. These are most definitely done. They smell amazing. Finally, our rice is done. Not only are we using the juice of the lime, but also the zest. And this just makes it extra, extra bright and flavorful. Cilantro, 1 lime, and then I'm gonna give it a taste and I might add some more lime juice. Oh, the smell is amazing. We're just about done here. I've transferred everything to glass for storage. I'm gonna leave the rice in here because I have a set of different sizes of these silicone lids. Suctions the air out, so you don't need to use plastic wrap. So I really like these. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This sort of Mexican inspired meal prep is so easy and dirt cheap to do. I'll try to include on the screen exactly how much I spent on all this. And it took me no more than, I wanna say, like 2 hours of time actually working. I did spend a little bit more because I was waiting for the brown rice to be done cooking, but 2 hours, no more than 2 hours of actual preparation. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other themes that I can tackle on future meal preps, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Burrito bowl is pretty for like 1 second, and then you just destroy it to combine everything.
Careers Day, not talk, but I was present at Careers Day.